big week for Colin Kaepernick. Not only is he getting the starting job back this weekend in Buffalo, but he also restructured his deal yesterday. Cap's deal wipes out the last 4 years on the contracts and turns it into a 2-year deal with a player option for year 2, according to Adam Kaplan and Adam Schefter. Now, if Kaepernick doesn't void this deal after the season, his contract terms for 2017 are the same, $16.5 million salary, but no guaranteed money. Max, was this the Niners' plan all along?
No. Now, that's different than asking, were they going to make him the starting quarterback without restructuring the contract? No, they also weren't going to do that. But that doesn't mean this was their plan all along. They were fortunate, in a sense, that before they were going to let Kaepernick on the field, he had to be in shape to play. And it's not like we're making this up. He had played poorly and then showed up and something was wrong with his arm. And you could even see from his frame he had lost a ton of muscle mass. I mean, a ton of muscle mass. He went from a jacked up dude in short shirt sleeves to like a skinny dude. Didn't look like the same guy, right? I mean, let's just say what it is. So that's what they were dealing with. And fortunately for the franchise, for the Niners, they had the luxury of waiting until Kaepernick's arm felt better, dead arm, shoulder, whatever it was, and until he started putting back on the muscle mass. In other words, until he was really ready to play quarterback again. They had the luxury of waiting and negotiating with him behind the scenes. They were not going to let him on without restructuring the deal. The NFLPA should look into this, in my opinion. But that's not the same thing as saying this is their plan all along. You know, they were holding him out. They weren't holding him out. There's a difference.
You're so wrong about this, but why am I surprised? Here's the deal, Max Kellerman. So let me get this straight. Chip Kelly, who came from Philadelphia, who's known for being a control freak, one of the things this way, knowing what people are eating, knowing what time they're sleeping, knowing who they got visiting their house at 11 o'clock at night, that kind of stuff. That Chip Kelly, that same Chip Kelly is coaching Colin Kaepernick, who wants to be traded. Doesn't affect or impact Chip Kelly at all. It's no big deal. Sure, right? Sure. That's according to you. Trent Baalke, GM for the 49ers. This is a team, Jim Harbaugh's first year, they went 13-3, went to the NFC Championship game. Second year went 11-4-1, went to the Super Bowl, lost the Super Bowl. Third year went 12-4. Went for the conference championship game again, and where they lost that game. 3 years in a row in the conference championship. What does Trent Baalke do? Because things are not exactly his way. He sits up there and ultimately, you know, railroads Jim Harbaugh out of San Francisco, basically decimates the franchise because you ruined the 2014 season where they went 8-8. And ever since then, after that, by the way, you follow up Jim Harbaugh with Jim Tom Sula. Okay, whoever the hell that was, okay? And then after you go that route, Chip Kelly gets exiled. They're so disgusted with him in Philadelphia, okay? There was their media campaign led by my man Angelo Cataldi and others that wanted him out of town. He gets fired. Jeffrey Lurie, you got to remember, I'm in Philadelphia 17 years, covered this team, know Jeffrey Lurie, good man. This dude fires you. Doesn't even wait until the season's over. It's 1 week left in the regular season, and he still fired you. He didn't even wait for another week. He got rid of you right then. You became ineligible for the playoffs. He didn't even wait 1 more week until the season ended. He said, you got to go now, okay? So all of this happened to Chip Kelly, and 3 weeks later, he gets hired by this organization at $6 million per. You look at the dysfunctionality that exists within the 49ers franchise, the kind of stuff that they engage in just to get the people that they want and get rid of the people that they don't. And you have a situation where Colin Kaepernick wants out. Then Colin Kaepernick, you know, with the whole national anthem and the aftermath of all of that, you know, that whole controversy. And had no impact whatsoever. And by the way, if he gets injured, they're on the hook for the money. So by restructuring his deal, you no longer have to worry about getting stuck with the money in the event that he gets injured because you eradicated that from the restructuring of his contract. And you think that that didn't play any role with them sitting him down whatsoever. That the fact that they could end up getting this contract more favorable to their liking, obviously, played no role whatsoever. They didn't have the foresight to look ahead and say, excuse me, if we do this, we could get Colin Kaepernick to restructure his deal, and ultimately we don't have to be on the hook for him. You don't think that they were holding out to some degree to get this to happen?
I'm sorry. Weren't you the same guy who a week or two ago you were arguing that, in fact, his anthem stance was keeping him off the field?
I said that wasn't the only thing. Don't act like I said that's the only thing. I did not say that. I said everything.
Okay, let's try something else.
Sure.
I'll try a Socratic method, okay?
Socratic?
Yes, Socratic.
Question and answer.
Dialectic here.
I'm just learning. Let me read it. Socratic. I think I can spell it. I got it.
Like Socrates.
Okay. Go ahead.
Make you a Stoic. Okay.
All right.
Now,
okay. I got Socratic.
Yes.
Got it. I wrote it down. I'm going to look it up in a minute.
Let me ask you this.
Use it in a sentence.
Yes.
Was Kaepernick's performance in decline before he was removed as the starting quarterback for the Niners?
Yes and no. What I mean is statistically, yes, but all the things that I pointed to about Jim Harbaugh's departure, the kind of system he was playing, and how dysfunctional.
But it predates Chip Kelly, yes?
Yes.
We have no disagreement that getting rid of Harbaugh suggests not the greatest things about the franchise.
Okay.
Because Harbaugh, as soon as he got there, turned the whole thing around.
Okay.
And as soon as he left, it went straight downhill. You want to identify Harbaugh as the mover of good things there? Absolutely, yes. Does it say bad things about the front office? Also, yes. But we're talking about the franchise as it relates to Kaepernick. He had already lost his starting job before Chip Kelly, correct? Before Chip Kelly got there, Kaepernick was not the starter, right?
Yes.
Did he show up looking much physically smaller than he had been previously?
He looked a little small.
A little?
But he had the dead shoulder.
I thought it was a little. I thought it was a little.
Okay, so we know that he'd already lost his job, and then he showed up looking, to me, he looked half the size. To you, he looked a little smaller, but there was a physical difference.
Okay.
Has he since put on some weight? You see some of the bulk back?
Yeah, but here's the thing, Max. You're leaving out one very important component. All of that being said, his replacement was Blaine Gabbert.
Which is why he got the job back.
Wait a minute. This is why he should have never lost the damn job, because with a half-dead arm, he should be better than Blaine Gabbert, who's 9-31 as a career starter in the NFL. This dude does not win football games, and everyone knows it. So don't tell me that it was just football reasons as to why Colin Kaepernick didn't have the job. I'm saying it was all-encompassing. All of those things contributed to the combination of Balky with Chip Kelly keeping Colin Kaepernick out of that starting lineup. That's what I believe.
Frequently, if your team isn't ready, if you feel like your O-line can't protect the quarterback, if for a number of reasons you think the team just isn't ready yet, you will sub in a tackling dummy to protect the ultimate guy you actually want playing quarterback. For example, when the Giants drafted Eli Manning, traded up first overall pick, they used Kurt Warner at first as a tackling dummy. I mean, the great Kurt Warner. But still, the line couldn't block. We're not going to risk this guy who's going to be our future. Now, I'm not saying they look at Kaepernick necessarily as the future, but I think they still hold out hope that between Chip and Kaepernick, they can catch lightning in a bottle. Was he going to get on the field before restructuring his contract? I don't think so. But that doesn't mean they were holding him out. He just wasn't ready to play.
Well, you know what? Listen, you can say that all you want to. I believe that the San Francisco 49ers, absolutely, that was incentive to hold him out. And I think it's clear because I think you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. And what I would ask you rhetorically, because we have to move on, is have they done anything to earn the benefit of the doubt from you, me, or anybody else? Don't you dare say they do, because they have not. Not Trent Baalke and not Chip Kelly. There is nothing that they have done to deserve the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I guess if it's a rhetorical question, there's nothing they've done.
I tried to put myself, say, in Tony's shoes. I'm sure Tony wants to play. I mean, he doesn't want to get injured. He wants to be productive. But you have to look at the dynamics right now, and they really are hitting on all cylinders. So this is hypothetically thinking. If you're Tony, you say, you know what? As much as I want to play, I don't want to press the issue. I want to play, but I'm going to let it play out right now. And it's probably better if Dak starts struggling and then they bring me in, rather than they put me in, and then all of a sudden we're not hitting on all cylinders, and everyone's like, they should have got rid of Tony. Blah, blah. I mean, if I'm making sense. So I'm not saying that you tell Garrett or Jerry Jones, look, I don't want to play. I think you want to play, but look, I don't want to mess up the dynamics of the team. If we get to a point where we're struggling, then it's time for me to come in. Now, that's a hard thing to do. I just think you're better if you wait till you're really needed. And I mean, no disrespect whatsoever to Tony.
Lil Wayne, I'm watching you smile while you hear that voice. You know, Brett Favre, your former quarterback, see you with the Green Bay.
Yeah.
But before we get to the question, CP, did you want to mention something?
I just want to make sure everybody knew. I know David Ortiz is a 3-time World Series champion. I kept saying 2-time. I kept saying 2-time. It's because I want to forget the fact that he got his first beating the Yankees en route to the first title. That's why I wanted
That wasn't an issue.
But go ahead. Go ahead, man.
You okay with your former quarterback, Brett Favre, saying that about Mr. Romo?
Yeah, I think it was very wise. And everybody's kind of, they like, what's wrong with? They're like, oh, that's not Brett, that's not Brett who you. They think Brett, he said this about Aaron, and that's the Brett that retired but came back, and that's the Brett that would never. It's not my job to help her. That's not that Brett. This is Brett Favre. This is who he is, and this is what he's saying. And let's not worry about who's it coming from, and pay attention to what he's saying. He made sense.
Well, I'm gonna pay attention to who the hell said it.
I'm
not gonna let that go, Lil Wayne. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm just saying, when you were an individual, meaning Brett Favre, when you were that dude that couldn't make up your mind when you wanted to retire, when you wanted to stay home, when you are the dude playing the quarterback position, which we're religiously told, you're not just a football player. I mean, you're the leader of the team. I mean, you're supposed to set the shining example. I mean, if you don't do it right, who else? But you've got to be that leader, the quarterback spot. This dude was nothing but the last 5 years. This dude was a walking prima donna, couldn't make up his mind when he wanted to stay, when he wanted to go, would literally leave teams dangling in the wind. Waiting. 1 year he showed up to camp for Minnesota's last year in August. I mean, he wouldn't make up his mind whether he wanted to play or not until August. Now, I was told and I was taught this does incredible damage to a football team. Oh, but not when it comes to Brett Favre. He's Brett Favre. I mean, did you know that? He threw for 71,000 yards in his career. He threw all of these touchdowns passes. Did you see him jump into the arms of his offensive lineman? Did you see him give them hugs? Did you see how he got tripped up and threw the ball underhanded to a receiver? Oh, look at the little kid in him. He still loves the game. He's just eating. Oh, you just love it. Don't you see it? Everybody fawning and drooling all over him. This is that dude. So you got the nerve to open your mouth about Tony Romo? No, Little Wayne, no. I'm not accepting that. I'm not saying he was wrong. I'm saying I don't want to hear that from Brett Favre. Go do your regular Wrangler jeans commercial, okay? Show up when they ask you to. Sit there and take pictures. You understand? Show up to Hall of Fame celebrations and all that. I don't want to hear nothing else from Brett Favre. Please.
Honestly, I think Brett was looking at it like, Tony ain't no Brett.
Thank you.
Tony ain't no Brett. So Brett was looking at it like, I'm telling y'all what Tony should do.
Try to explain this to you.
Y'all ain't ask me what I would do and what I should do, because y'all already know what I would do and what I should do. I might not know what I would do till August, but I was talking about till whenever I'm ready. I'm ready. But Tony y'all asked me what Tony should do, and because he ain't me, he need to let that boy do what he doing.
And what about this? Is Favre telling on himself? Is he saying, look, this is the way, in a way, this is the way I would play it? Of course I want to play, so what I would do is I don't want to start right now, because if we lose, then I'm out. So, hey, Tony, if you want to be slick about it, let the kid keep playing. They're going to hit a rough patch. When they do, boom, you get in there. Is he telling on himself?
I don't think he's telling on himself. I think he's just answering the question, man.
No, you're answering the questions. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm glad you were focused on the message, the only one here. The messenger.
It's so touching. It's so touching. It's so touching.
Let's change
Brett
subjects,
Favre.
can we, Stephen
Brett
A?
Favre, please. Go do your Wrangler commercials.
Wayne,
go ahead.
Let's talk a little NFC East. So you root for Redskins?
No, in football,
yeah, just the Packers? Or you like the Redskins in the NFC East? Or is that bad information?
No, that's bad information.
Okay, bad information.
Who do you like in the NFC East? Do you have a strong opinion about it?
I mean, I believe the Redskins would be a lot better if they located D-Jack more. He's a great receiver, and he's kind of invisible sometimes.
Well, you know what it is? I watched him last week. Deshaun Jackson's who you're talking about.
Yeah.
He was very frustrated. Actually, he was targeted. Kirk Cousins just overthrew him about 3 times.
Exactly.
You know, so this is what you have in the nation's capital, okay? When I look at the NFC East, these folks, they don't get it. They don't get it, Lil Wayne. They don't understand how I'm plotting. Because you do know this about me with the Cowboy fans. I think they're disgusting. I think they're the worst fan base in American history. I can't stand the Cowboy fans. I can't stand them, okay? They make me sick. But I will tell you this.
Shout out, Ant.
Everybody thinks that I want the Cowboys to lose. They don't understand. Go ahead and let them win. Let me get right up there, Max. Let me get right up there to the tip. Let me get right up there. Let me get to the NFC Championship game. Let them have a lead in the fourth quarter. Let them be up by 20 and then blow it. I want an epic failure. That's what I want.
I want to lick the tears off the fans' face like
That's what I'm after.
And the more heartbreaking it is, the sweeter the tears.
And I hope that Jerry Jones and the Cowboys invite me to Texas Stadium, because you know what I'll do? I will party with Cowboy fans for a tailgate party and laugh right in their face when it happens. I would do it. I really would. I'm silly.
Speaking of Deshaun Jackson,
right?
You know how hard it is to overthrow Deshaun Jackson?
Exactly.
How do you overthrow that guy? I mean, the quarterback play in Washington, except for RG3's rookie year, has not been consistently good in how many years?
Well, Kirk Cousins played well last year, but it was against mediocre talent.
And it was for a few games. It was some spurts to me. It wasn't, you know, I thought that was what I actually thought was happening was how we blow. When I say we, I mean us, America, how we just blow things up, you know. I might make a shot behind my Lil Wayne's the best basketball player. You know, just I think that was happening.
Gotcha.
What he said, you like that or something like that?
You like that? You like that? That's why the Green Bay Packers ended their season by saying, you like that?
Hey, who you telling?
The division up for grabs like always, but clearly Carson Wentz and Dak both putting on a show. But let's get your thoughts on the Lakers real quick. First time without Kobe for 20 seasons. What are your expectations?
I don't have any.
Smart.
I don't have any expectations. I'm just gonna watch and enjoy and see what we have, see what we're doing, and I think they should go out there the same way, just have fun and play ball, and then just try to figure something out for the time being. I don't have any expectations. I mean,
let me make news today.
Okay.
I've decided I'm gonna be a little bit nice to Jim Buss this year. Even though I believe that he played a very significant role in ruining this franchise. I've gotten on him enough. And now that they've hired Luke Walton, who I like, who I'm confident will do a good job eventually, I'm going to sit up here and try to give the Los Angeles Lakers a little pass here. I'm hoping. I was just in L.A., you know, a couple of days ago. I did the Jimmy Kimmel show. While I was in L.A., that little buzz, that fever that you felt when Kobe was there, totally gone. It's not there now. Let's see what happens.
Well, I mean, one of the good things about Kobe being so bad the last couple seasons of his career, they extended his contract before he ever showed he could play again. After the Achilles, he was never the same. He had games here and there, but basically was a terrible player, especially for one who touched the ball so much. But the benefit was fans, Lil Wayne and others, want to see Kobe. You got that. Lakers fans got to build through the draft, and now they have an interesting young nucleus and a lot of cap space going forward. Even though I don't love the way they handled it in this offseason, they still have some flexibility going forward.
They already messed up because even though he's a decent player with promise, you don't draft D'Angelo Russell ahead of Jahlil Okafor.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do. We got a lot to talk about in the NBA.
Yes, we do. Wayne, appreciate you. Always good to see you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Come back again soon.